Ever found yourself staring at a ballot paper feeling like you're trying to decipher a secret code? You see a dozen different party names, each with a logo and a slogan, but what do they actually stand for? Ever wonder why some parties seem to promise everything to everyone, casting their net as wide as possible, while others stick rigidly to one big idea, almost daring you to disagree? Political parties are the engines of modern democracy, but they aren't all built the same way. Understanding their fundamental blueprints is the key to seeing past the campaign noise and making an informed choice. In the next 8 minutes, we're going to unpack the essential types of political parties you'll find around the world. This isn't about who to vote for, it's about understanding the machinery of politics itself. Ready to become a more savvy voter? Smash that like button and subscribe to Timelines. Let's begin. First up, the most common type you'll encounter in many large democracies, the catch-all party. Think of these as giant umbrellas or big tent parties. Their primary goal isn't ideological purity, it's winning elections. To do that, they need to build the broadest possible coalition of voters. They are built to win by appealing to a vast spectrum of the electorate, from urban professionals to rural workers, young families to retirees. Their platforms are often a carefully crafted mosaic of policies designed to offer something to everyone, while avoiding positions that might alienate large voting blocs. This means they often moderate their stances, gravitating towards the political center. The trade-off? Their message can sometimes feel diluted or inconsistent, as they try to reconcile the competing interests of their diverse supporters. A policy that benefits one group might be at odds with the desires of another, leading to internal tensions and compromises that can look like flip-flopping. Now let's contrast that with a much older model, the cadre, or elite party. These are smaller, leadership-driven organizations. Historically, these were the first political parties, formed in parliaments before the era of universal suffrage. They weren't built on mass membership, but on the personal influence, reputation, and resources of a small group of elites. Their power comes from influential insiders, established politicians, wealthy donors, and well-connected community leaders. Instead of mobilizing thousands of volunteers, they rely on their networks and financial clout to contest elections. While less common in their pure form today, their legacy persists. Many modern parties still have an influential cadre at their core, and their emphasis on fundraising from wealthy backers is a direct descendant of this model. Their weakness is a potential disconnect from the general public, appearing out of touch or beholden to special interests. In direct response to the elite model, the mass party emerged. These are membership machines, born from labor movements and socialist groups in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Their strength isn't in the wealth of a few, but in the numbers and dedication of the many. They are characterized by strong local branches, a large dues-paying membership, and a deep connection to a specific social class or group. The party is more than just an electoral vehicle. It's a social and cultural hub, providing education, services, and a sense of community for its members. This army of volunteers is their engine for everything: fundraising through small donations, organizing rallies, canvassing neighborhoods, and, most importantly, ensuring high voter turnout on election day. Their power is truly from the ground up. Closely related to mass parties, but distinct in their focus, are ideological parties. For these parties, policy isn't just a tool to win votes, it's the entire point. They are built around a comprehensive and consistent worldview, a core ideology that informs every position they take. This could be socialism or libertarianism on the traditional left-right spectrum. It could be a nationalist ideology focused on cultural identity, or even a completely new framework built around concepts like technological progress or post-growth economics. The key trait is principle over pragmatism. They would rather stick to their ideological guns and lose an election than compromise their core beliefs for a few extra votes. Their goal is to shift the entire political conversation towards their worldview. believing that winning the battle of ideas is more important than winning a single election. Taking that focus to its extreme, we find single-issue parties. As the name suggests, these parties are laser-focused on one specific policy area. Their entire platform might revolve around the environment, fighting corruption, advocating for digital rights, or promoting animal welfare. They rarely expect to win power outright. Instead, their strategy is to act as a political catalyst. By winning a small number of seats or even just a significant share of the vote, they can force larger, catch-all parties to take their issues seriously. Their success is measured not in cabinet positions, but in how effectively they push their one priority into the mainstream political debate. Next, we have parties defined not by ideology, but by identity, regional or ethnic parties. These organizations are built around a shared local, regional, or ethnic identity. They don't claim to speak for the whole nation, but for a specific community within it. Their primary goals are often centered on securing greater autonomy, protecting a unique language or culture, or directing more government resources to their home region. In multi-party systems, these parties can become powerful kingmakers, lending their support to form a coalition government in exchange for concessions that benefit their constituents. They ensure that the concerns of specific communities aren't overlooked in national politics. Similarly rooted in identity, but of a different kind, are religious parties. These parties explicitly ground their political platform in the values and teachings of a particular faith. Their policy concerns are often focused on areas where religion and public life intersect, such as education, family law, and public morals. They might advocate for state funding for religious schools, laws reflecting their faith's ethical stances, or the protection of religious freedoms. Their support base is naturally the community of believers they represent, and they serve as that community's voice in the political arena. Moving from the city to the countryside, we find agrarian or rural parties. These parties champion the interests of farmers, ranchers, and rural communities. Their platforms focus on agricultural subsidies, land rights, water management, and investment in rural infrastructure. They emerge from a sense that the concerns of the countryside are often ignored by urban-centric national governments. These parties ensure that the voices of those who live and work on the land are heard in the halls of power, providing a crucial counterbalance to the political weight of major cities. A type of party that has surged in prominence globally is the populist or anti-establishment party. These parties define themselves in opposition to a perceived corrupt and out-of-touch elite. Their core message is a simple but powerful narrative. Us, the pure, hard-working common people, versus them, the establishment, which includes mainstream politicians, financial institutions, and the media. They promise to disrupt the status quo, smash conventions, and deliver fast, simple fixes to complex problems. Populism is a style, not a fixed ideology. It can be left-wing, focusing on economic elites and corporate power, or it can be right-wing, targeting immigrants and global institutions. The risk they pose is a potential erosion of democratic norms and minority rights in the name of the will of the people. The safeguard is a robust system of checks and balances, including an independent judiciary and a free press. Finally, it's crucial to understand that the type of parties a country has is heavily influenced by its electoral system. Two-party systems, often found with winner-take-all elections, naturally push parties to become broad, catch-all vehicles. To win, you need to get more votes than your single main opponent, so both sides moderate their message to capture the center. In contrast, multi-party systems, common in countries with proportional representation, create space for more niche and ideological players. A party doesn't need 51% of the vote to be relevant. Winning just 5% can get them seats in parliament. This allows single-issue, regional, and ideological parties to thrive. The result is that the most important work often happens after the election, during coalition building, where different parties must negotiate and compromise to form a government. So why does all this matter? Because knowing these party types helps you decode the political landscape. It helps you understand a party's strategy, predict its behavior, and see the logic behind its platform. Is it trying to be a big tent, or is it fighting for a single principle? Is its power based on elite networks or grassroots members? Understanding this framework allows you to look past the daily headlines and see the deeper structures that shape our governments and our societies. It explains why politics can shift so dramatically after an election, as parties with different models are forced to work together. It empowers you to be not just a voter, but an informed analyst of the democratic process itself. If you learned something valuable today, help us grow the channel by liking this video. And if you want more deep dives that help you make sense of the world, say it with me, subscribe to Timelines. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.